This story is about a year and a half ago, so I will try to remember as much as I can. I am male, 18. My parents own a little restaurant where we sell snacks, cakes, candies, and various fast foods. It was named after my grandparents, so let's call it Joe's fake name. Whenever I get free time, I usually hang out there with my friends and order something which I do pay for, which also encourages my friends to pay up. I also do work at Joe's, especially on weekends, as it becomes a bit busy then, like serving people or taking orders from them, and yes, we do have employees. My dad allows me to keep the tip money which the customers give after eating, and my dad also pays me for the hours I work. Now, on to the story. A very few of the regular customers know I am the son of the owner, and my parents, the owners, also work there themselves, but people often tend to think of them as employees. One day on a weekend, a woman who might be in her 30s or 40s, I'm not good at guessing age, entered with her bratty kid, who I suppose was around 10 or so. Now, as it was a weekend, it was a little bit busy, so she was told to sit on one of the waiting chairs. Around 20 minutes or so, a table was ready for her. She sat there, and I went to ask for her orders. Now, I don't exactly remember what she ordered. It might have been a sandwich or so, and I went to the kitchen to give the order. Now, I was just standing near the register to look if someone needed anything, and her bratty kid was running around screaming, running into people, stepping on people's feet, even touching their food, and the mother, as usual, didn't seem to care and was on her phone. Now, I was very annoyed by this, and I held the kid by his hand while he was running and told him not to run around in a pretty harsh voice. The kid started crying and ran back to his mother. His mother was fumed by this and came to me stomping. This is how the convo went as far as I remember. "How dare you touch my child?" He was running around and was annoying other people. "Didn't you see he was even touching their food?" "Well, he's a child. He can do whatever he wants to do." "Yeah, not in my supervision." "Do you even know who I am?" Me thinking, here we go again. I've read a lot of stories like this here. Never thought something like this would ever happen to me, as I always thought people over-exaggerated things. But no, these were real. I knew what was going to happen, so I thought of playing along. "No, ma'am, I don't." "Well, then you should know I am the wife of the owner, and you have made a mistake hurting his son, and I will make sure your face would never be seen here. I'm getting you fired." Me, thinking in my mind, I thought she would go for a sister or a friend, but she went for a wife, and now we're gonna have some fun. "Ma'am, I don't think you even know his." She cuts me off. "His name is X, my dad's name." I was kinda shocked that she knows my dad's name. A very few people know that anyway. "Ma'am, I'm very sorry that I acted rude towards your son, but please don't get me fired. It's the only job I have. You should have thought about that before you hit my son." "But ma'am, he was in." She again cuts me off. "Shut up." She went to the register and asked for the manager. My dad came out and talked to her about what happened. "Your employee have been harassing my son. I want him to be fired now." My dad, looking at me, then told her, "I'm sorry for the inconveniences, but I just can't fire him without any reason. Do you even know who you are talking to? I'm the wife of the owner of Joe's, and I can't stand the employees hitting my son." Dad was now having the biggest grin on his face. "Why are you laughing? I'm serious. I'm again telling you I am sorry for the inconveniences caused. Would you like to have a refund?" She went into total rage mode now. "You know what? I'm calling my husband and complaining about you and your employee. I will get both of you fired." Now, the way she got my dad's number is because we had it on our board outside, as we have home deliveries as well. She called the number and my dad's phone rang. Karen was shocked. He picked up the phone and said, "Hello, this is X, Dad's name, the owner of Joe's. How can I help you?" Karen's face went from red to complete white, like if blood was drained from her. He then said, "Yes, I am the owner and manager of Joe's, and you are in no way my wife, and the employee you want to be fired is my son." She looked at me, and I just couldn't hold back my laugh anymore. And just then, her order was ready, but she was already embarrassed enough, and her kid was crying in the background the whole time. She immediately dragged her crying kid by the arm, didn't even take the order, and we still have a great laugh about it. So, I'm one of the few people who aren't allergic to either poison ivy or poison oak, a superpower I once used for evil. Small evil, not the bad kind. When I was in the Boy Scouts, it was still a quasi-paramilitary organization, and we went on a camping trip for a jamboree one summer. I was about 13 or 14 at the time. This particular jamboree had us camping all week long with our local National Guard. They instructed us that week on shooting the M14 and M16, as well as the M2 and M249 machine guns. They also instructed us on pathfinding and had us running a 10-mile course through the Arkansas countryside. I suppose I should mention that I absolutely hated most of the scouts in my troop. Half of them were psychopaths. One of them chopped a kid's finger off after the kid dared him to, and the rest were a bunch of little entitled jerks. So I really didn't have a single friend in scouts, ever. It's one of the reasons I eventually quit. Towards the end of the jamboree, shortly after I woke up on Saturday morning, our head scout, an Eagle Scout, no less, whacked me in the forehead with the butt end of a knife that he was using to eat peanut butter directly from the jar. Why? I don't know. Just because I was there and he felt like it, I guess. Now, the day before, while we were doing some basic reconnoitering of our course, I happened upon a patch of poison ivy and noted its location on my pathfinding map. After the silverware incident, I honestly hadn't really thought of getting back at him or any of his other psychopathic sycophants who thought me getting thumped in the head was funny. However, when it came time for me to take over on our pathfinding march, we were only a couple hundred yards from that patch of poison ivy I found the day before. I didn't know if anyone else knew it was there, but I had an opportunity, and if the Boy Scouts taught me anything, it was, whenever an opportunity presents itself, you be a man, and go for it. Alrighty, if you insist. The best part was, because it was July, we were all wearing shorts. I marched us straight through that patch and not one single scout, tenderfoot, life, or eagle identified it. They were completely, beautifully oblivious. I had the best night I had ever had on any camping trip in Scouts just a few short hours later as I listened to the cries of every single scout in my troop as they went absolutely mad from the horrible pain and itching that poison ivy causes. And the cherry on top, not one of us, nor any of the other troops, nor even the National Guard guys, had even a single drop of calamine lotion. It was the most cathartic revenge I've ever experienced. After all of the nonsense and bullying I had put up with from those little jerks, the sweet sounds of their suffering lulled me gently to sleep that night. We had to break camp immediately the next morning. Oh, dang it. I was just starting to have fun. I don't know what the National Guard guys had planned for that day, but I didn't care. I never wanted to go on that jamboree in the first place. I got home early on Sunday, and it was one of the best days ever, as I happily returned to a wonderful shower, a clean bed, and our lovely, lovely air conditioner. This happened in France. A few years back, my friends got me Watch Dogs, a video game, for my 20th birthday. The game was not out yet, so they pre-ordered it in GameStops, and they got a quite expensive edition, about €70. As the game was not out yet, I got some papers to retrieve when it's released. It was actually Micromania, the French GameStop, owned by GameStop. I will refer to GameStop to make it easier. The game had some delays and was released a year later, so I instantly went to GameStop to get my game the week it was officially released. I showed the papers to the cashier owner, and he told me, "Sorry, but your gift card is expired." And I was like, "What are you talking about? The game just got released like 2 days ago. Seems like when you pre-order a game at GameStop, they give you a document that says that you pre-order the game so that they keep it in stock, and a gift card of the amount of the game. And this one expired after a year, so a few weeks back." I tried to explain my situation to the owner. My friend pre-ordered a game and I just came to get it when the game was out, nothing unusual. The guy was visibly upset as I didn't want to pay €70 for my birthday gift that was already paid for by my friends. He told me that he'll have to call some guys to see what he could do. I heard him have a couple of laughs on the phone with the guys, so I thought it was going to be okay since the owner seems to know the gift card guy. Big mistake. The owner told me that after speaking with the gift card guy, he can only get me 40 euros of the 70 euros and that I'll have to pay the remaining 30 euros. I was furious, but I was also pretty shy and didn't want to make a scene. He told me I could file a complaint to GameStop to get my money back, but seriously, that was just an excuse to get me out quickly. I finally agreed to pay the remaining 30 euros and file a complaint when I got back home. I got redirected a couple of times, and I was getting furious at the situation. They didn't want to hear anything, and they often just did not respond at all. So after a week of me sending mails, I said something along those lines. If I do not get a response back before tomorrow night, I'll start by spreading my story to social networks and notation services. I'll explain how I ended up paying 100 euros instead of 70 euros for a game before taking it to court. Kind regards. I did get a response after this mail, stating that gift cards were only available for 1 year. They didn't want to admit their mistake, but they were offering me 6 vouchers of 10 euros for my loyalty. I asked for 30 euros cash, but since I got 60 euros to spend on games, I took this as a win and accepted. They mailed me the 6 codes, and I happily went back to GameStop to buy some games. I didn't remember what I chose, but when I went to pay, the cashier, who was the same guy as last time, told me that he can only apply 1 voucher per buy. So since I got a 60 euros game, I'll have to pay the remaining 50 euros since he can apply for only 1 10 euros voucher. I literally froze like, what the heck? Is there some hidden camera? Is this some kind of joke? I told him I won't pay for this game, and I took a look around the store. That's when I saw them, a big pile of 10 euro Steam gift cards. So I put on a big smile and told him I'll get this 10 euros Steam gift card. The guy was visibly confused but accepted and applied my voucher, so I got it for free. Once he handed me the bill, I said thank you and told him I'll also take this 10 euros Steam card. And also that one. And that one. Steam is an online platform to buy games way easier and cheaper than GameStop. The guy was visibly kinda angry and told me something like, wasn't it like 30 euros missing, not 60 euros? While scanning all my codes and giving me my Steam gift cards. I said, yeah, but I got angry. In the end, I followed exactly what they said and ended up with 60 euros free Steam gift cards when they wanted to trick me with their vouchers. I like to think that they didn't make a dime of profit with this since they bought Steam gift cards for their real price from Steam. Needless to say, I never went back to another GameStop ever in my life.